I'm speaking this coming Thursday, November 14th, 2024 at 10:15 Eastern Time. That's right, I'm speaking this Thursday. I will not be speaking at an auditorium or at a classroom or at some other facility. I'll be speaking on Livestream this coming Thursday. Now, for me, it's a return to something that I did as late as 2010. Back on the Blog Talk Radio platform, I hosted a very successful and popular podcast that appeared weekly on Wednesday evenings. And that podcast lasted for about a year. In fact, exactly a year. And now, back then, you had podcasts that were just audio on that platform. There were some live streams, but they were very few and far between. So my adding the audio element has taken some time for a lot of reasons. Some of it is because of sound quality, that somehow I could not figure out how to get that audio sound that's needed for podcast quality. Well, come to find out, part of the problem, it wasn't the microphone, even though I did buy another microphone. It was my mixer. The mixer that I purchased initially 3 years ago, actually 3 years ago, 2021. It was of low quality. It was cheap, and I got what I paid for. Bottom line is that it did not produce the 48 volts phantom power that was needed to power up my XLR condenser microphone. So now I've figured that out. I've also added a live stream platform in which it also gives me better audio quality. But what I was also able to do was integrate that platform with another platform that's actually a freeware platform. And so I think I've put something together. So yes, I'm speaking. Now, my first guest will be Steve Rideshare Rodeo Johnson. If you check him out, if you're familiar with Steve Rideshare Rodeo Johnson, I've been a guest on a number of his podcasts over the past year or so. And I've been very appreciative of what Steve inviting me on as a guest. I've completed mini loads for.
So a broker, not like through a website or somebody independent, not an app.
No app.
Yes, I know there's a lot of brokers out there. In fact, I've been talking to, I still have connections with a lot of truckers and stuff who were doing this part time. And I used to do that radio show for truckers and who part-timed in the gig economy with Tom Kelly. And a lot of them aren't even pulling their rigs out. I think you and I have even talked about this, but it's even gotten worse. So some people have even told me those brokerage boards for like you or like other people with bigger vehicles that would be supplementing the truckers not bringing their rigs out, that the orders have even gone to a point where it's not even worth it for people with vans and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that my next door neighbor talked about last time we talked. He's like, you'd be surprised, man. I'm thinking he's pulling, $3, $4, $5 a mile. He's like, man, it's not what you think. I just happen to, because of him having a tractor trailer, he's sometimes able to, I guess, work his own deals to where it makes sense for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when he told me that, I was surprised. And he's given me some insight on a lot of things over the past year and a half. He is an advocate for drivers, independent contractor drivers who work gig apps. And he started out doing rideshare, but he since branched out to gig food delivery and last mile delivery. And he has produced content on all three facets of gig work as we know as drivers. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things. There's no specific subject that we've agreed to talk about, but I'm certain that we will come up with a few things. And by the way, I'm going to throw this out there about Steve. Now, Steve and I, we both have an affinity for some funk. I call Steve Funk Master. And the reason why he's Funk Master, because he knows he is a fan of he is the king and prophet of funk, George Clinton. And every now and then when we'd interact, we'd always use the word funk in our conversation. So hopefully though, you'll like the content on that podcast. Now, while I will have Steve for this first one, I may have other people on the podcast as well. The fact of the matter is that I am using some of my, I'm utilizing some of my skill set as a media professional to do something that has always been a part of me. And so that's why, again, I'm speaking. So I encourage you to check it out Thursday at 7:15 Pacific Standard Time, 8:15 Mountain Standard Time, 9:15 Central Standard Time, and 10:15 Eastern Standard Time this coming Thursday. Just don't know what I'll be talking about. I've got some things in mind. I've got some things I'd like to say, and I feel that now's the time to start talking about those things. This is what happened like 25 years ago when I was a newspaper reporter, and I shared what had happened with that. But the difference is that whereas I was an employee of a newspaper who tried to silence my voice, and I elected then not to go along with it, I have complete control of what I have to say. And that's something that I've always been an advocate of. And this is something and my daughter, I often make reference to my daughter. My daughter will remind me of that. I always encourage her to speak her mind. I always encourage her to speak her mind. Hell, yesterday she spoke her mind to me. And then I turned around and spoke my mind to her. But I'll just say then, the apple did not fall too far when it comes to her and I. But I encourage you to visit me here at the Gig Geezer. That's on YouTube is at Gig Geezer. And just see what it's all about. I think you'll like it.